Well, many thanks for joining us here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. Today we're here with Professor Herman Manyora. I definitely want to look at a number of issues actually affecting this country, especially in the education sector. Prof, how are you?
Wonderful.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I didn't tell them my name is Evans Okin as usual.
Yes, Evans Okin, yes.
Here we are. So, Prof, something happening, of course, as usual in the education sector. You saw what actually took place. Let's begin with the Meru, embattled Meru Vice Chancellor, Professor Romano Sodiambo. Of course, you saw what the Senate in that university did. And of course, you saw the students go out there, riot, and they demanded that their VC be reinstated. And we saw that Ruto, of course, is being reinstated and is back there. What do you think is coming up with some of these things? Because I listened to the professor talking, and he was talking of what is taking place is basically tribalism, is pettiness. I don't know how, whether you buy whatever he was saying, but what do you think is really happening in Meru with regards to what befell the professor over there?
You know, there are rules, there are regulations, there are procedures, there are all these protocols, there are all these kind of things. What is the power of council? This guy's term was coming to an end.
In July, that is?
And a council asked him to proceed on leave, preceding his end of his term in July. I think that's as far as I know, which is, to me, is very normal. So when the minister steps in, so what is the work of power? What is the power of council? What is the work of council? Does council have any power in these universities? I think the minister is overstepping his powers.
But my question would be, why would you request the vice chancellor to actually leave office yet his term has not yet expired?
It is standard. When you are coming to the end of your term, it's normal standard practice for you to take your leave. Because normally when these big people are in office, they don't go on leave. So it accumulates. It's normal standard practice across the world that whatever leave days you have, you take them before the expiry of your term. That's a very normal thing. Simple.
From what is from the information that I gathered from the ground, I get to understand that there's some sort of inner conflict between the members of the staff, of course, the staff of Meru University and the vice chancellor, and it's like these people really want him to be pushed out. Of course, I understand the fact that there is some sort of possibility of renewal of his contract. For that matter, because I wonder the terms under which that was signed, but then I get that. And the students were lamenting, saying that these people are not actually in some sort of good terms, and that is why this is happening. And yet you're here telling me about it's some sort of a normal stuff, these things happening that way.
That's just normal. It's normal that when you have come at the end of your term, you take your leave days. And there is nowhere where the renewal is automatic. We have come to think it must be automatic. It's not automatic.
But don't you think there could be some sort of internal squabbles there?
Those are always there. They are always there. They were there at the University of Nairobi. They are always there. Those ones are always there.
What's the danger?
The institutions mandated with the managing these things should be able to handle them. Without surrendering it to you know, these things are very simple. One, let's start with the students who are rioting. They may not even be 1/10 of the student population, not even 1/50th. They may be such a small fraction. And from what I gather on TV, most of them could be people coming from the Vice Chancellor's place, which is even causing more trouble for the future. The people who are speaking there, most of them spoke with some Luo accents. That could be wrong. So, and there are not even enough students, there are not many students. So the problem is here, our students have refused to be organized intelligently, the way university students used to be organized, with a powerful student body. When the time for elections come, the students behave like their fathers and brothers outside. They do it on a tribal basis. So student bodies are not powerful because they are fragmented along tribal lines when elections are called. So they end up electing useless fellows, most of them. Let's go to the staff. The staff, you are saying the staff could be against the vice chancellor. The staff of university, I'm one of them. Before I leave, I'm about to leave, are cowards. I keep asking them, to what extent are you professors? If you can leave one man to spoil an institution, then you celebrate when he leaves. When Mbidi left the University of Nairobi or VC, there was so much celebration. I wrote in the Standard and asked them, you mean one man you are celebrating as if one man could be messing the university when all of you are there? Are you really professors? So that is another problem. The students don't organize properly to have strong student representation through student leadership. Staff are so cowardly, they leave one individual mess the university. One. Then you go behind, Romanos or Diambo must go. But when he's messing the university and all of you are professors, why can't you just walk them? I have told the University of Nairobi professors, why don't we go to Taifa Hall and call our vice chancellor to come down and tell him you are our colleague. Things are not going well. Tell us. Maybe there's a problem we don't understand. Can we make us understand? We are not even rioting. We just want to hear you are one of us. They can't. So you wonder, what education do they have? So now the staff leave one man to run the show. Senate of a university is supposed to be the most powerful body. The VC is a mere member of that body, perhaps chairing or whatever it is. But then he runs the show. And the professors are in that Senate. They don't raise a voice. They don't raise a finger. So now they want to go behind and want the VC to be removed through unorthodox means. You see what I'm trying to say? Now you advance this further to the ministry. The ministry has refused to put the right laws and structures in place that leave no doubt, that create no equivocation when it comes to what must be done. How do we hire a VC? You have now introduced Public Service Commission for the reason I don't understand. A VC's job is not just like any other job. This is a powerful position. You can even advertise internationally. And I don't think the public service is placed enough, well enough, to recruit a vice chancellor for a university. They cannot. They don't have that capacity. You see all these mistakes. So then the minister is there, sometimes trying to exercise powers he doesn't have. But finally, the universities will not go far without autonomy. And if Machogo can just order within hours, reinstate him within the same day, and in the next 3 days, the graduation you had cancelled must take place. The minister. It means there's no autonomy.
No. Let's get this right, Prof. Of course, you're talking about this just some sort of a normal kind of stuff, and you are saying here that from your point of view, from what you gathered, is that his term. Of course, I'm also aware that his term is coming to an end, but then that is not the reason that was cited by the Senate. The Senate of that particular university.
The council,
yes, the council, the Senate Council of Meru University. Definitely, there is no problem. This is one of the universities that we've not actually seen much of problems with so far, but they were citing incompetence.
Yes.
They were not citing any sort of normalcy. So, and then the VC came up and said, well, there is nothing like incompetence that these people are saying. These guys just are kind of haunting me out. They just need me out of this place. And of course, I had him talk and whatever it is that he said. So I'm still wondering, if at all it is, do you buy then that kind of argument that perhaps the Vice Chancellor was incompetent, and that's why...
You know that Vice Chancellor is my friend. We know each other. We have worked together. At some point in our earlier years, he's my friend. So I don't know whether he's incompetent. That I leave to those who are saying he's incompetent. Because I don't have the capacity from where I sit.
We at Nairobi Review appreciate the support you have given Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Through your financial support, we've been able to reach millions of Kenyans and produce quality content every single day. It hasn't been easy, and therefore we appreciate you for subscribing, sharing, and watching us every single day. Whether you're a long-term fan or just discovering this YouTube channel, your financial support can make a huge difference. You can M-Pesa us via 0768 074 076 or use till number 964 4543. That is 0768 074 076 or M-Pesa till number 964 4543. We highly appreciate your support.
But what I want to state,
judge him,
what I want to state
whether
clearly,
he was a friend or not.
Okay, what I want to state clearly here is that is the reason that was given by the council.
And I want to react to that.
Him being sent on a terminal leave, for that matter.
When we create institutions, we give those institutions certain powers, certain mandate. Unless we change, until we change the mandate and the powers, those institutions must be allowed to execute their mandate. We have created council for Meru University. While it is in office, it has the power to say exactly what it said. That this man is not competent and is going away. So until we change the power or the mandate of the council, we should allow the council to execute its mandate. That's how you can have a sane country. You get it? But again, it introduces yet another problem. So these are problems we must deal with, but these things are now helping us. How is council constituted?
Definitely, and that is what I was coming to.
Yeah. Who are members of council? These are just, most of them are useless fellows. Because the minister knows me, he ensures I'm member of council of Kaimo's University. Because he knows me. Not because I'm capable. So Kenyans must, at all times, eat their cake. You make your bed, you lie on it. You elect useless people, they vet a useless man to be a minister. And he proceeds to do useless things in that ministry. So we can't run away from our responsibility. All these things are related in a way. The ICT minister was vetted by parliament. If he messes the ICT ministry, we must also get it back to parliament which vetted him. But again, we must get back to the people who elected the people who went to parliament, who voted the people to go to parliament. We must not run away from our responsibilities. However, we must learn from these experiences. But the bottom line is, when we have created institutions, we must respect them.
So then now make me understand, if at all we've of course you're talking about if we've created institutions, then we must respect them. Here we have a council of a university that of course is formed, and I wonder the basis, and that is why I was even questioning the composition. How then are the vice chancellors of these universities protected against some sort of malice that perhaps could come from the council itself? Because if at all
they should not even be protected. The vice chancellors do not need protected. They should even be harassed more. These vice chancellors should not even be protected. They should be harassed more.
That means if you
let me tell you why. When a bill goes to parliament, universities bill, all these 30-something vice chancellors cannot sit down and tell the ministry this is not possible. This is wrong. This will take the university. They can't. They have no voice. They have no tongue. They can't face a minister. Vice chancellors in this university. Somebody should give them this clip. These laws creating these bodies, how a council is constituted, the power of the minister, how to recruit a vice chancellor, they are in an act of parliament. The vice chancellors never talk. Things are put in law. Professors don't talk. So they should be hit harder than that. I would love them to be hit harder.
Now that
they never talk. One day I found a friend of mine. It's a public figure, so I can even mention. He was buying furniture somewhere in Mombasa Road, and I was there. I asked him, I'm seeing they want to change the name of your college. You know, Kenya Polytechnic was a brand. I asked Professor Odor. He says, yes, we wanted to maintain this name, but the ministry has. So now it is Tuk-Tuk. Yeah, Tuk-Tuk, eh? Technical University of Kenya. Look at the brand, was Kenya Polytechnic. I asked him. He also would have loved it. But he's saying the ministry. Are you dying to become a vice chancellor that you cannot face them and tell them this is wrong? You see, MIT, always the top university in whatever ranking. It has not tried to change MIT to become a university. Namibia Polytechnic, a university of science approaching by, you know, what am I trying to say? Docility, fear, subserviency, cowardice, timidity that is not expected of intellectuals is what is killing our universities.
Finally, my question therefore would be, do you believe that perhaps the relationship between the vice chancellors, or rather the heads of our institutions of higher learning and the government, is perhaps responsible for the kind of chaos that we are witnessing in the education sector in this country, especially in higher education. You saw that at that time there was wrangles between the vice chancellor of Kenyatta University and the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Of course, we saw what happened, and then this other regime came and it was reinstated. Actually, so it's like, and we also saw that with the Nairobi, the University of Nairobi vice chancellor. Professor Kiawan at the time, actually he had to go to court to gain his position. There was also that with Professor Airo. You see this kind. So I'm trying to wonder, what is that? How is this relationship between the government and the vice chancellors affecting the entire education system in this country?
You must go back to the 60s, late 60s and early 70s, when universities were harassing government, the Kenyatta government and the rest in Africa. University students were tough things. And the socialism and, all those kind of things that were there in the Cold War season. And so universities are things governments feared. And therefore governments controlled universities so much. It was a center of agitation. Name all these people who are in the university. Mutunga, Nyang Nyong, Orengo, all these people are, all the big names you can think about in this country. You can let them to university, either as students or lecturers. So it was found necessary to control the universities. These many years, we have refused to let it go. Even where government has let it go, the universities still, they are behaving like a chicken, kuku. If you get a kuku from Migori, umeifunga, uifikisha hapo uifungulie, hata iwezi kwenda. It is there, immobile. So universities have refused to know that they are no longer under the spell and the control of the government. They behave like that. They keep looking behind the shoulders. You get it? Years of conditioning. But the government itself has also refused to know that you cannot run a university today unless it is autonomous. So the solution is simple. Give universities the autonomy they require. But before you do that, ensure that one man will not control the university. Create institutions and how to get people in those institutions like Senate to ensure that the vice chancellor is not a god. He's first among equals. He's working with his colleagues. He doesn't know everything. Those institutions from the department of faculties, schools, directorates, and all the way up to Senate have the powers they need to run the university, and that the vice chancellor cannot overrule. Then create a clear council with a clear mandate, with the clear recruitment process of who becomes a member of council.
Very competent individuals.
Yeah, so once you do that, then give universities autonomy. Now, my pet topic has been, before I make you vice chancellor of University of Nairobi, you must tell me how after 3 years you'll be making 50 billion while not departing from the mandate of the university, which is teaching, teaching, learning, research, and community service. You don't depart from that. Yet, the minimum amount of money in your books at the end of the year should be 50 billion for the University of Nairobi. We shall scale it down according to these other universities. If you are not capable, just step aside, let another Kenyan capable of managing this autonomy. So that, what do I mean? I mean that if we start that today, in the next 5 years, no university, not even one, will go to government for money. Not even 1 shilling, not for salary, not for anything. Government will continue giving support. The government will sponsor students and pay for them. Government may give universities certain grants, but universities will not 100% be entirely dependent on the exchequer.
Okay, finally, as we complete this, Prof, do you believe that the tribal card kind of play when these people are choosing whoever becomes the VC of any university in whichever region in this country?
In fact, Romanos Odhiambo, professor, is VC of Meru. courtesy of the attempt that has been made to tribalize our universities.
Definitely.
It's been very difficult. You remember the Euro saga?
Yes, I do.
Something else was in Kisii and everywhere. So there has been an attempt to tribalize our universities at the level of management, level of vice chancellor, and is a beneficiary of the same. There was a problem. There was problem in Eldoret, where a lady vice chancellor, a woman, was being frog-marked by leaders, elected leaders, because they didn't see how Aluya could be a VC in Eldoret.
So
And it's not just the challenge in Eldoret and Moi. I'm telling you, it was also in Kisii. It has been in other places. So we've been, as a country, been trying to work along those lines to make sure we do not villagize our university. So Odhiambo is a product of that. And it's good and fair that any treatment is given must be fair and justified and within the rules of the game. Yeah.
So we should simply follow the rules of the game as a nation and not lean towards our tribal affiliations.
If it is tribalism, as we have seen elsewhere, then it will be very sad.
It will be very
It will be very sad if Romanos, I say I know him, my friend. I don't know how he works. I've not been there. I don't know whether he's a sterling vice chancellor. I've never known there can be a sterling vice chancellor here. But he must be given fair treatment. Fair treatment, due process, and nothing must be seen to indicate that he's being evicted from Meru, because Meru is a Meru region and is a Luo. That will be very unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Meru University students are back to school, and of course, the graduation will take place on Saturday, as earlier stated and planned by the administration of that particular university. We are still on the ground monitoring everything taking place, and we will keep you up to date with conversations on each and everything taking place in this country. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a very lovely day. My name is Evans Okini.